sew how to get your skirt now. Oh, Englishman, don't come back. Oh. So how to get your skirt now? You divide your hip by 4 for this one now. I'm not going to sew. For this one now, I am not going to sew it together with my material. I'm going to sew my lining separate from my material. So how to get your skirt? That's what I want to tell you guys now. It will divide your hip by 4 plus 1.5 inch. If you want to sew with Ankara, if you want to sew it, because this one is now it's an English skirt. If you want to sew with Ankara, divide your hip by 4 plus 2 inches. This one now is an English skirt. So you divide your hip by 4 plus 1.5 inch. So that's what I have here now. So that was what I was able to get. My hip divided by 4 plus 1.5. That is what I have here. My hip is 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 plus half inch plus 1.5. Sorry, will give me 11.5. So I have my 11.5 here. So you are going to have 11.5 up to this point. So after getting your 11.5, what you are going to do next is to take away 2 inches for your fold at the down part of your skirt. 2 inches. What you are seeing here now, from here to here, I have 2 inches for my fold. So this fold is going to be like this for my skirt. After getting your fold, you are going to get your full length for your skirt. So from here to here for my skirt is 30. So that is what I have here now. From here to here, 30. You come again. From here to here, you get 30. Your skirt length, that's what you're going to get from this part to this part. So that is what I have here right now. So after getting your full length, what you are going to do next is to get your waist to your hip. So from your waist to your hip is 9. That's my 9 inches which I have here. Then from your waist to your nail, 19. That is the 19 which I have right here. So after getting it like this is where you're going to impute your measurements. So how to impute your measurements now? You come over to your waistline, you get your waist measurement. So my waist is 29 divided by 4 will give me 7.2. My waist divided by 4, that is what I have here, plus 1.5 inch for my sewing allowance. That is what I have here. Then come over to your hip. Your hip divided by 4 will give you 10 inches plus 1.5 inch. That is what I have here. So what I have here now is what I'm going to place at this down part, because I don't want the skirt to be penciled based on the customer or my client's requirements. I don't want it to be penciled. So it is based on the requirement of your client that you are going to make. So if you want it to be penciled at this point where I'm putting this tape now, what you are going to do now is to come in by 1.5 at this your end. So this point now, if you want it to be penciled, at this point I'm going to come in by 1.5. And what you are going to do, if you want it to be penciled, remember, I am not sewing skirts for pencil skirt. This skirt is not a pencil skirt. So you are going to, this illustration now that I'm giving now is how to get a pencil skirt. This is my skirt measurement that I want to make use of now, in case you don't understand for pencil. So I'm trying to break it down for you in case you want to do pencil and you want to use this calculation. So I'm trying to make it easier for everyone. Thank you. So you go ahead to roll it. Remember, I told you what you have for your hip here now. You are going to place the same thing at this your end point. Then you are going to remove 1.5 inch. So from your 1.5 inch, you can see that is where my connection is going from. So I will link it up to my hip. It won't get close to the hip so that it won't give you a pointy edge at the hip point. It won't be that pointy. It will be the blended part, because you know the hip is not pointy, the hip is blended. It is a hip shape of the hip. English. So that is what I have here now. So I have the hip shape of the hip. That is the curve which I have here. So just write that language down because you might need it somewhere else. So this part now minus this part, this one now is how you get your pencil skirt. But before you cut your pencil skirt, you're not going to cut it down. I just want to make it clear in case you want to make a pencil skirt. You're going to fold this in. You are going to fold this in before you cut, so that after cutting it is advisable to fold this in. It is advisable to fold this in. I am repeating myself because if you go ahead and cut it straight, it will be a very big error for you. So nevertheless, let me continue from where I stopped. So I am not making a pencil skirt for the information, so I can cut this straight because what I have here will be straight, but